Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's portal training. Um, Tristan Jackson, who usually hosts this, is not available today. She's out for the day. So as some of you already know, Carly Hauhuth will be with us. Will be doing your training today. And she was excited to get the chance. But before we get started with the portal training, just want to mention that tomorrow, Brad is doing a coaching session at 11 a.m. and the subject is bringing the new back to your old leads. We want to dive into your old leads and think about, how to revive them, pump life back into them. And I think a general consensus is that people are like, oh, these are dead leads, waste of money. Well, we know here, because part of our business, our Revive program, is focused on reviving those old leads. And we know that we average around a 3.9% opportunity rate when you give us your leads. So Brad's going to talk about strategies that will work for you. But if you also are interested in us helping you with those Revive leads, just let us know. I think some of you probably are already in that program. So that's tomorrow, focusing on old leads. And then next week, next Thursday, the topic will be capitalize, analyze, and diversify your real estate team. So really getting into really good management focus around your teams. That's all I've got. Thanks for being here, and hand it over to Carly.
All right, guys. Well, good morning again. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to host the portal training today. I'm usually on the Brad Baldwin meetings, so a little bit of a switch up, but you guys are in good hands with me today. Don't worry. So for those who might have not used the Conversion Monster portal yet or don't have direct access to the portal, in the chat, I did include the link for you to log in. Now, I will be going through the portal and the ins and outs of it, all that great stuff. To log into your portal, all you'll need is the email address you use to receive your Conversion Monster hot leads. So I assume for most of you, that's going to be your daily email. Go ahead and click that link. You'll want to use your email address. And if you haven't logged in before, you can click on Forgot Password. You'll then receive a link to reset your password. You can go ahead and update that to whatever you would like. So that information is there. If for whatever reason you have an issue logging in, which you really shouldn't, feel free to shoot me an email and I'll be able to help you out with all of that. All righty. So this is your Conversion Monster portal. This is a tool that we hope you will all start taking advantage of, as it can really, really help you utilize your Conversion Monster service to the best of its ability, help you keep track of your hot leads, help you keep track of your agents and the follow-up on the hot leads we've handed off. So I'm going to go through the portal, some of the different reports you're able to access, and of course, the routing rules you're able to adjust as well. So to kind of get started, when you first log into your portal, you're going to be directed right to your dashboard here. And as you can see, the information that will be on your screen first is very similar to the email you are receiving on your, to the daily report you're receiving by email every day. Now, the only difference with this dashboard is that this is being updated in real time. And of course, you can actually filter to specific timelines. So when you first click here, of course, you'll be able to see any appointments that might have been booked yesterday, the total live transfers, phone calls, text messages, ringless voicemails, and emails. On this graph over here, you can also keep track of your production on almost like a little bit of a pie chart. So as you can see, for month-to-date production, this green will show you the total number of contacts made, the total number of nurtures added, and the total number of leads processed so far this month. You can also check on your year-to-date production as well. Of course, we're not too far into 2023 just yet. So this is just going to be from January 1st up until today's date. But you can get a full overview of your numbers there as well. And your lifetime report. So for some people that might have been with Conversion Monster for a year, 2 years, you can see the total number of leads that we've worked for you, total number of contacts made, so on and so forth by looking at this production graph here. Now, of course, this information will also be written out for you. So total number of leads processed since you've started your Conversion Monster service, contacts, transfers, appointments, and nurtures added. Your nurture bank will also be updated for you as well. Now, most of you are able to see this on your daily report, but if we made contact with a lead who maybe wasn't within that 6-month timeline, not exactly ready to speak with an agent yet, they will be added to your nurture bank. So you can keep track of those contacts and the people being pushed into that nurture bank on your portal dashboard as well. Now, when you scroll a bit towards the bottom here, you can see your full overview. Now, this is a tool that we're really hoping a lot of you will begin using. So you can really scale the amount of leads Conversion Monster has handed off to you versus the amount of those that have actually closed into a sale on your end. So this is information that you will need to be updating, but you can see here the total number of potential sales all time. And if you're updating your hot leads, which is something I will show you in a few minutes here, you can keep track of the closed amount of volume based on the opportunities being sent back. Now, the nice part about the portal is you have the ability to filter through by timeline. So if you wanted to check on your results for the entire year of 2022, if you want to see the month of March so far, you have the ability to filter on based on some specific timelines. Now, when you scroll down here, you will be able to keep track of the next upcoming appointments set in the next 48 hours, along with the recent live transfers that were sent in the past 48 hours. Of course, as you all know, when a live transfer is successful or a callback appointment is set, you will receive that hot lead email with the details for that appointment and all of those hot lead notes. But as we all know, you're receiving a lot of emails throughout the day. So using this portal, you can keep track of those appointments you have coming up. You can keep track of some of the last live transfers that have gone over. And of course, as an admin or the head of a team, you'll be able to keep track of your agent's activity and performance as well on some of those transfers and appointments. So that will be the main dashboard when you first log in. Now I am going to jump over to the hot leads section. Now, if you are the owner of the account or an admin person for the team, you will be able to keep track of all the opportunities that have gone back to any of your agents. Of course, if you're an agent on a team with your portal login, you will be able to view your hot leads specifically. But once you log in here, you'll be able to see the hot leads that have been sent back, and it will come up as the most recent one on the top here. Again, if you want to filter by specific timelines, you absolutely can. You can also filter by specific agents on your team. So again, if you are the broker or if you're an admin and you want to check on all of the hot leads that have gone back to Mark specifically, you can do so by clicking on his name here, and then that will show you all the hot leads that have gone to that agent. Now, some things to kind of keep track of are the different color-coded options we see here. As we can see, we have some that are labeled blue and others that are labeled orange. For the blue ones, that will mean it was a successful live transfer. As you know, the ISAs will attempt a live transfer on a hot lead that we've fully qualified, and an appointment will be set if that transfer could not be picked up. So you can keep track of how many successful transfers have been sent back to your team. One thing that's important to track, I think, as a whole is your answering rate, to see how often you or one of the agents on your team are actually getting to those live transfers. But from here, you can also view all of the hot lead notes and all of the details of that conversation between the lead and that ISA. This is all emailed directly over to you. And of course, if you are in a CRM, we have an API integration with, these notes will be in your CRM in real time as well. But this is just another great place to keep track of the opportunities that we've sent back, because as we all know, there is some work that still needs to be done even after Conversion Monster hands off that hot lead. So you want to make sure you're keeping track of these people. Now, if you wanted to add any notes, you have the ability to do so here. And with this current status, this is where we are hoping and suggesting you will start updating the current status of the lead that we have handed off as an opportunity. So once that is live transferred or an appointment is set, it's automatically going to be, the status will automatically be changed to handed off. Now, if you are actively following up and working this lead, you can update that status to following up. If you got that lead to sign a buyer's agreement, they're under contract, you can update that status to under contract. Closed, self-explanatory. You close that lead, you're done, you've moved forward with them. Re-engage. Maybe you've lost touch with this hot lead, they've become unresponsive. And then of course, dead, that's pretty self-explanatory there. But this is a great tool. Keep track of the leads we've handed off to you, keep track of their statuses and that follow-up. And of course, that will then update to that potential sales versus a closed sales chart on your dashboard. So I'm going to take a second to pause here. It looks like we might have a question in the chat from Martin. Hot leads sent to the lender before going to an agent. I'm not necessarily going to dive too deep into that, but for us, if a lead is not yet pre-approved and you have a lender option, that lead will be sent to the lender to begin the pre-approval process before going over to an agent. This can be adjusted if you don't want that lender option there and would prefer that agent to make the introduction. That can always be adjusted. But if they're not pre-approved, they are being routed to that lender automatically. Okay. Now in the reports section, you'll have the ability to pull different reporting to keep track of the hot leads, transfers, appointments, and some of the different lead sources Conversion Monster has worked for you. So the lead source report, this will be familiar for some of you who have done account reviews with one of the success managers here. And this report basically will summarize all of the sources we have worked on your behalf so far, total number of calls, texts, and emails made, plus our contact rate and opportunity rate on each of those sources. So I did pull an example here already, but if you wanted to generate a report to view your sources, you would do lead source report. Again, you can filter by any specific timeline you might want to. And this example here is one I've already generated just to kind of pull up for us to take a look at. 1 second. All right. Okay, so this is a lead source report. You can see the total number of sources we've worked, registrations from each source, calls, texts, and emails, opportunity rate, contact rate. This is a great report to really scale your Conversion Monster experience and even a lot of the sources that we are working for you. As you can see, Boomtown, this is the #1 source we've been working for this client specifically. We have about an 87% contact rate. You can see our opportunity rate. So if you're maybe, it's the end of the quarter, you're thinking about budget, you're deciding whether or not you want to put more dollars towards a source or maybe put more dollars towards another source, this is a great report to help you see what maybe is performing better than another source. So that is your lead source report. That's a great tool for you to keep track of. Now, we can also generate our hot lead report that will show all successful live transfers or callback appointments set. And if you wanted to get a little bit more specific, you can view the appointment only report or the transfer report. Now, this example I already pulled up is going to be all hot leads. And if it wants to show you, there we go. Here we go. All right. I like to just edit the row height here so it's a little bit clearer to see. And here we go. So you can see whether it was a successful live transfer, a callback appointment set, who it went to, and all of the hot lead notes and qualifiers. All right. Now, to kind of change or switch gears a little bit, some of the other sections you'll see here are super teams, teams, and users. Super teams, teams, don't even worry about those. You're not necessarily going to need those at this point in time, but your users is where you're going to have your agent roster. So when you add in an agent, it's going to ask for their first name, last name, email, their role, so either an admin or an agent, phone number, and area code. So if you ever have a new agent that's joining your team, or maybe someone is no longer with your team, you can go into the portal and adjust their user right in this section here. Now we're going to start getting into some of the routing. Before I do that, any questions? I've noticed recently that I talk a lot and we're already kind of running low on time. So I'm so sorry, but before I continue, feel free to unmute yourself, drop a question in the chat. Any questions on what I've gone over so far? All right. All right, awesome. So oh, here we go. Will there be a recording of this? Yep, Terry, there will be a recording of this. So I'll make sure to share that with you after the call. All right. So round robin groups. If you have, oh, here we go. We got some questions. All right, perfect. Round robin groups. If you want your hot leads distributed in a round robin between some of your agents, this is where you would create those groups. So as you can see here, this is the buyer round robin. So if a lead is looking to buy a home, they're buying only, these would be the two agents included on that round robin rotation. So of course you can remove members, you can add members here, but this is where you would adjust who is included in that rotation. Another example, maybe a seller round robin for a lead who was looking to sell. You would want those to go to maybe a set of listing agents rather than a buyer's agent. Group phone numbers. Now, of course, you may be familiar with the team number option, which means the ISA would transfer to a broadcast number that would ring to all of the agents on the team, and whoever is available to grab that call will claim that lead, and then they would essentially take that live transfer, of course. We do not have the ability to create team numbers for you. I know through programs like Google Voice, Grasshopper, they can provide a broadcast number where you can add all of your agents to, give that number to us, and we can dial out to the whole team at once. Now, when you add a group phone number, you can name it whatever you'd like, team number, broadcast number. You would put that phone number here, but you would also want to include the agents who that phone number is ringing to, essentially. Although that was already created by you, whether it was through Google Voice or Grasshopper, we want to know exactly which agents that number will be ringing to. That way, when the agent answers the call, the ISA has the list of those agents and can make sure that hot lead email is sent to the correct person based on whoever answered that call. So you'll want to make sure you include those contacts here. On the ISA screen, it's almost a drop down that will pop up. The ISA will confirm which agent they're speaking to. They will see their name there, and then that email will get sent right to that agent. Okay, routing rules. So for some of you that might have been with Conversion Monster before we have implemented this portal, as you would know, you would have to reach out to the client success team or your account manager to make any updates on your hot lead routing. So we do now have the ability to give you that freedom on your own, where you can come in and adjust these rules. If you have an agent heading out of town, or if someone's on vacation, you can go in and set it up so that their leads are routed elsewhere. Now, through the client portal, we do have the ability to add some custom fields based on how you would want your leads routed. Some of these fields are not going to be there automatically, meaning you will need to reach out to your account manager to get those inputted. But as an example, if you wanted your leads routed based on specific price points, that could be done. If you wanted leads routed based on whether they're a buyer or a seller, you can do that. Specific zip codes, if they are an agent that can take Spanish speaking leads, based on an agent's availability, based on pre-approval status. And if you have an integrated CRM, we can always send leads back to whoever the assigned agent is. Now, you're not going to have the ability to turn these rules on yourself at first. So if you do want to implement some of these custom rules, please feel free to reach out to us, clientrelations@conversion-monster.com. Send us an email. We can turn these on for you. But when we are adjusting a rule, this is how it will appear. So the main destination is where those live transfers will be routed to. We attempt 2 live transfers on every hot lead transfer attempt. However, we can only attempt the same number twice. So the main destination, this is where the live transfer call will be routed to. So for this example, the team number, that transfer will go there. If that transfer is not picked up, the failover destination is who that callback appointment will be routed to. So in this case, the callback appointment will be routed to Row automatically if no one is available to answer that live transfer. And some of the custom fields I mentioned are price point. So for this example here, we do not want to send any buyers that are under $250,000. And that maximum price point, you'll want to fill that in to probably the highest number possible. Of course, we don't ever want to say that there is a maximum, but the system will automatically make you put a number there. And this is a lead that does not speak Spanish. So in this scenario, the agent doesn't have a Spanish speaking agent on this team number. So if the lead is a Spanish speaker, they will not fall under this rule. And for the Spanish speaking leads, this is the rule that we would have in place. Since this team does not have a Spanish speaking agent, these will be callback appointment only. Regardless, you will then be notified of that appointment with all of those notes and of course those qualifying questions. Now, the routing rules I know can seem a bit tricky. So please, if you are hesitant about it, if you feel like you would rather have someone here take care of it for you, please feel free to reach out. We can always help you, one-on-one along the way. But this is what the portal does. We want you to take advantage of it, especially when it comes down to the hot leads and keeping track of the different lead sources we're working for you. It's a great resource. It's a really, really helpful tool to keep everything all in one section for Conversion Monster. And of course, you can go in and now make some of those edits on your own as well. So that's really the main things I wanted to cover with you guys. Of course, I wanted to make sure we had a few minutes to ask any questions you might have, whether it's something I've gone over or maybe something I haven't. Feel free to unmute yourself, of course. Going once, going twice. All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Again, if you are unable to access your portal, if you haven't used your portal before and are maybe having trouble logging in, please feel free to shoot me over a message, email. I'll put that in the chat here for us. Client relations at conversion-monster.com. Shoot us a message and we will get you logged into the portal. Dennis, I'm not sure if there's anything else you wanted to hop in with, but I think we are good to go.
No, that was great, Carly. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody's spring is getting exciting. And if you are not sending us enough leads and you think you want to increase that, be sure to let us know because this is the time to do it.
March
Anyway,
is
thanks.
over already.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And I hope it's getting warm where you all are because it's not here yet in Buffalo. So, all right, folks. Thanks so much. Thanks,
Thank you
Carly.
all. We hope to see you guys tomorrow for Brad training as well. Bye, guys.
Bye.